All right, introducing the Six of Swords. This card doesn't signify death, even though it can indicate mourning, nor does it show transformation. It depicts a quiet passage through a difficult time. Waite says the freight is light, and Eden Gray writes the swords do not weigh down the boat. Even though we carry our troubles with us, we have adapted to them. They will not sink us or bear us down. Looking deeper, we see the image of a long sorrow. Mourning is an example, but not the only one. A person of which a person has felt for so long that it no longer gives pain, but has become a part of life. Another less disturbing meaning is that a passage, physically or spiritually, a time of transition. Notice the ferryman's black pole. Black indicates potentiality, where nothing final has happened, so all things remain possible. By staying calm, we waste neither energy nor opportunity. The Six of Swords is a gate card. Looking at it with the sensitivity and then entering the picture will produce first a quieting effect on the mind, and then later slowly a sense of movement within the self. Reversed. Seen in one way, the balance and peace becomes disturbed. The passage is no longer serene, for the waters, the symbol of emotion, becomes stirred up. When we attack a long-standing problem, especially one that has been accepted by everyone else, we agitate the situation. Another way the Six of Swords reversed can show communication, reminding us that the right side up, the people maintain their composure by not speaking or looking at each other. If the sword symbolizes unhappy memories and the silence is a defense, the communication can be painful, but it can also begin healing. Astrology and the Six of Swords. Mercury in Aquarius, Lord of earned success. We don't normally think of quick trips to be life-changing, but when they take us across the river Styx, guided by the spectre like Mercury, they can be the start of a whole new existence. Mercury is the god of short journeys. He's also a psychopomp, an escort, and a conductor of souls. The spirits of the dead would board his ferry, and he would shepherd them across the river into the underworld. Aquarius is a futuristic sign of social groups and causes. When Mercury steps in as the ruler of the second decan of Aquarius, he maintains the broad perspective of the sign. The second decan of Aquarius usually falls between January 30th and February 8th. Introducing the Five of Swords. Five of Swords is one of the most difficult cards and one of the reasons many find the Rider-Waite deck too negative. And yet it mirrors a real situation that most people will experience at some time in their life. All of the five show conflict or loss. Swords carry this idea to the extreme of defeat. Sometimes the meaning of the card will focus on the large figure in the foreground, the victor. More commonly, we identify with the two figures turned away. They have lost some battle, and now the whole world bears down on them. The water choppy, the sky jagged, a sense of humiliation as well as weakness goes with their defeat. Reverse, the painful quality remains though the emphasis may shift. Where right side up may indicate the moment of defeat, reverse extends this to the repair felt afterward, the despair felt afterwards, which is a difficult state to overcome. Swords are more pessimistic suit. Taken alone, no minor suit can show the true balance of life. An excess of swords cards needs more than any other suit to be balanced with experience and attitudes from other suit elements. The Five of Swords can also symbolize poor sportsmanship. So, I was just watching the cooking channel, so Food Network. So I'm gonna use one of the chefs that at first I really honestly didn't like. And then I kind of sort of grew to like Bobby Flay. Like when he was first started off cooking, he was very, very arrogant and his sportsmanship was poor. Like he would really like push, like shove the one in someone's face. So that's a sign of poor sportsmanship. Astrology and the Five of Swords. Venus in Aquarius, Lord of Defeat. Like the Empress, Venus is a lover, not a fighter, which is not necessarily a good fit for Aquarius, who loves social groups and causes just as much as people, and he's willing to fight for them. That's the Aquarius we meet in the Five of Swords. He's a visionary, crusader, and a firm believer in struggle and insurrection. Aquarius doesn't hesitate to pick up a sword of righteousness and fight for its own idea of justice. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, the planet of revolution and rebellion. In the process of fighting for its favorite cause, Aquarius can forget or ignore the humanity of its opposition. Moving along to the Four of Swords. Four relates to the stabilization for swords. This translates as rest or even retreat. The image shows not death, but withdrawal. People sometimes respond to difficult times by isolating themselves, either literally hiding themselves in their house or flattening their emotional reactions to hide inside themselves. Withdrawal can, however, lead to healing if the purpose is not to hide, but to recoup strength. The card can mean holding back from a fight until there is a better chance at winning. Similarly, by withdrawing for a time, after some deep hurt, a person gives him or herself a chance to recover. Notice that the knight lies in a church and that the window shows Christ giving a healing blessing to a supplicant. The imagery suggests the Fisher King of the Grail legend, whose wounds mirror the spiritual sickness of the kingdom, and Sleeping Beauty. Both of these figures needed outsiders to awaken them. Withdrawal, even for the purpose of recovery, can shut a person off from the world, creating a kind of spell only outside energy can break. Reverse, this card shows a return to the world. Whether this comes about quietly or dramatically depends on the situation. Sometimes the card refers to action as if the knight emerges carefully from his sanctuary. At other times, it can represent other people perceiving and breaking through the fences. The prince coming for Sleeping Beauty. Astrology and the Four of Swords. Jupiter and Libra, Lord of Rest from Strife. The third and last deacon of Libra is ruled by Jupiter, which helps give the person depicted in the Four of Swords a chance to catch up on some much-needed sleep. Libra is an air sign, and its intellectual focus is clearly symbolized by the Four of Swords. Three swords suspend in midair, and one is carved into the bench like an additional framework or support. Clearly, he has been thinking and studying and analyzing and judging and obsessing about intellectual issues. Like a kind uncle, Jupiter has come into the card, and he has slowed the wheel of fortune enough to give Libra a break from its usual worries and concerns. Introducing the Three of Swords. The Golden Dawn title of this card is Sorrow. Of all the swords, the three most simply represent pain and heartbreak. Yet, for all of its gloom, the picture brings a certain cairn in the symmetry of its swords. To true sorrow, we can make only one response. Take the pain into our hearts, accept it, and go beyond it. The Nine of Swords raises the question how to continue after a great anguish. And the Three tells us that we must not push the pain away from us, but somehow take it in deep inside until it is transformed by love and courage. Acceptance and love can turn pain into joyful memories. Reverse, the healing process becomes blocked when we fight acceptance. If something in life appears too painful, we may push it away, try not to think about it, and avoid any reminders. Such attitudes keep the pain forever with us and in fact increases its hold. Astrology and the Three of Swords. Saturn in Libra, Lord of Sorrow. The second deacon of Libra is ruled by Saturn. Libra is forced to recognize its restrictions all too well, which explains the grief and sorrow associated with the Three of Swords. Despite the fact that Libra is at the height of its power and potential, it's not free to float among the clouds as its airy intellectual nature would like. Instead, Libra is weighed down by the worldly restrictions that Saturn imposes. Libra's emphasis on relationships also generates its own fair share of sorrow. While we tend to idealize seventh house issues of love, romance, marriage, and partnerships, it's a sad fact of life that affairs with the heart almost never come without a price. Even the best of relationships demand to be constantly weighed, balanced, and adjusted. That's where the I kind of oh Jesus, I don't know how to talk today. Mercury is definitely in retrograde too. Iconography of the Justice card comes into play. The swords may be gruesome, but the illusion itself is perfectly balanced. The two swords on either side of the central pivot point, like two scales, on either side of the fulcrum. In that sense, the card illustrates mental anguish as Libra struggles to come to terms with two seemingly oh Jesus, I don't know how to talk today. Irreconcilable differences or points of view. Both extremes are piercing, but the sword in the middle demonstrates that a painful compromise is usually possible. Saturn is exalted in Libra. It loves the finely honed sense of balance and precision it can find in the sign. Introducing the Two of Swords. One method of handling problems or opposition is to push everything away beyond an emotional fence. If we let nothing approach us, nothing can hurt us. In contrast to the Eight of Swords, the blindfold here shows not confusion, but a deliberate closing of the eyes. The figure has tied it on herself so that she will not have to choose between friend and enemy. For such choice becomes the first step in once again involving herself with other people. The swords remain ready to strike anyone who tries to come close. They represent anger and fear, creating a precautious balance. The one that wants to strike out and the other wants to hide, so the person remains tense between them. Notice, however, the effect this posture has on the woman. The crossed arms close off her heart. The imagery of blocked emotions continue the way with the gray dress seems to merge into the stone seat. At the same time, the heavy swords raise the center of her gravity from the solar plexus to the chest. When a person holds in emotions, the breathing becomes shallower, the body becomes rigid. Paradoxically, the attempt to stop emotion makes a person more emotional. As he or he thinks the act, as he or she thinks and acts not from the center, but from the constricted chest, seeing not the world, but her own image behind the blindfold. The weight of the swords makes it easy for the woman to be tipped over into the choppy water. Because it makes no idea what that was supposed to say. Because it doesn't concentrate on emotions, a defensive attitude makes us more prone to outbursts, to anger, and hysteria. Reversed, the balance is lost or given up. Either the person becomes knocked over by people or problems, charging her defenses, or else the blindfold is given up for the purpose of either seeing truth or communicating. The latter experience can prove very emotional, even shattering, if the person does not receive help from outside. Astrology and the Two of Swords. Moon in Libra. Lord of Peace restored. Two lunar goddesses merge in the Two of Swords, a card of deep reflection, contemplation, and intuition. During the first 10 days of the month, Libra is ruled by the moon. So while the woman in the card is focused on rational and balanced discernment, she's blindfolded and forced to rely on her intuition in order to come to a decision. Libra is an air sign without the influence of the moon. She might seem detached from the watery emotional side of the issue. The moon, however, connects her to the emotional realm. This card is referred to in the Golden Dawn deck as Lord of Peace Restored because the moon graces Libra with the gift of reflection, acceptance, and understanding. And lastly, introducing the Ace of Swords. The final first sword card returns us to the true essence of the suit, intellect. Pointing straight up for true perception, the sword pierces the crown of the material world. Wisdom leads us beyond illusions and limitations to the spiritual truth contained within life. Many of the sword cards suffer from the illusion that life contains only sorrow and pain. The mountain symbolizes abstract truth, objective facts of existence, and independent of personal viewpoint and experience. However, intellect alone, divorced from intuition, will only lead to more illusion. Truth expresses the ace in its most valuable form. On another level, the card signifies simply emotional force, both love and hate in extreme points. Notice the tight grip of the sword. The emotions to are a gift, enabling us to experience life intensely, but they always remain hard to hold and hard to direct. For people who have suffered abuse of some kind, focusing on the Ace of Swords can act as a way of bringing up to the surface repressed anger. Reversed, the grip fails, bringing illusion, confused ideas, feelings, and overpowering emotions. The more violent feelings overcome the benevolent ones. Without a clear sense of reality, the mind can fall prey to mistakes created by emotion. Astrology and the Ace of Swords, the power of air. Air is the realm of thought and communication. Our thoughts and ideas travel through the air, both literally and symbolically. We transmute our outbound broadcasts and receive inbound messages and bulletins. The airways used to be solely a philosophical contrast. In today's era of mass media, being from space, wireless communication is a fact of life. Symbolically speaking, however, air is still an intellectual concept. The element of air is mental, light, elusive, uncontainable, conversational, and social. The Ace of Swords symbolize all the power of air, as well as the air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. All right, and next week is the final of the Pentacles. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know what's going on with my throat. My throat chakra is active. It's probably because I haven't really been talking that much.
You're good. I've got a video to send you after this that would pertain to the throat chakra. Has to do with us going into something to do with Taurus.